Ramakrishnaya. We are today going to have a few techniques that will help in open eyes meditation. This open eyes meditation techniques can also be used when your eyes are closed, in the sense of when eyelids are down. So it can be used both ways. In one of Sri Ramakrishna's teachings, we find him describing how a hen that's sitting down to hatch its eggs has got a kind of a blank look outside. Its entire attention is focused on those eggs below. At the same time, it has to keep its eyes open in order to eliminate threats or save the eggs. This is one of the, you can say, looks of a yogi's eyes when the yogi meditates. The eyes are open, but the mind is somewhere else, deep down inside. So we have this, it's a natural where we are looking at something and then our thought distracts, a train of thought distracts us, and we are not there. We are here, we are sitting with the eyes open, but we are not here. We are somewhere else with that train of thought. That train of thought has diverted our attention there. So similarly, that very mechanism can be used for open-eyed meditation. We all do it all the time. So just to give us a kind of a brief introduction to how the methodology works, that you can focus on one thing, and where you can also see that the two, you can say, faces, the profiles facing each other, and there's a goblet there in the middle. We all have seen this picture, illusory picture, over and over and over again. Now I want you to look at the two profiles in white. Can you see that? This is the profile. Now switch your attention to the goblet. You cannot see both together, or your mind will switch from one image to the next, but you can never see these two things together. Now if you can see these two profiles, or these two faces, okay, keep on looking at them, please. Now switch your attention to the goblet. The faces disappear from your perception. They are seen, but they are not registered as faces. They are seen as just the outlines of the goblet. Now if you can see, so this is a simple technique of attention. How when we keep our eyes open, and also we can see that we can shift our attention from one thing to another. Now the same technique, like I said, can be used. Your eyes are open, you're seeing the external world, or you're on the road, you're sitting down in the car and you're watching everything, but there's another train of thought internally that's going on. You are watching that train of thought. And then you can switch your attention from that train of thought to those external objects, to things which you see on the road. And then you can again switch your attention to the train of thoughts again. So this switching is done by the mind. The mind can perceive only one thing at one time. And since the speed of the mind is tremendous, you do not notice that it is switching. Not only between 2, between 3, between 5, between 20, between 30, but every time it switches, it perceives only one thing. That's the reason why they say that multitasking, you do multitasking, the mind can't multitask. It can do one task at a time. So you pay attention to one task, finish it, or if you have to switch from one task to another, that task is dropped and your attention is switched off here. So switching off. Perception, non-perception. When we keep our eyes open, we find that we can have a train of thought also along with that. That's called a japa. So when you see your eyes, like that's the picture of an eye. And you are watching Shri Ram Krishna. Okay. Now when you are watching Shri Ram Krishna, okay, look at the picture of Shri Ram Krishna, please. Keep on gazing at the picture. Now become aware of your breath. Say Om Ramakrishna, Om Ramakrishna, Om Ramakrishna, Om Ramakrishna, Om Ramakrishna, Om Ramakrishna, Ramakrishna. Now try to visualize Shri Ramakrishna's whole body. See what happens. You've seen only the face. Try to visualize Shri Ramakrishna's whole body as you are watching his face. Along with that, repeat Om Ramakrishna, Om Ramakrishna. Now what you are doing is taking a different part of the mind to visualize Shri Ramakrishna's rest of the body, the limbs, while you are just watching the face. Your eyes are watching the face and you are visualizing the other part of the body. So the mind is switching between these two. Now you are all looking at me, okay, or the screen obviously. Keep gazing at me, please. Now I want you to visualize a sunrise. As you're watching me, visualize the sun rising slowly from behind the mountains. Yes, you can do that. Because you are gazing at me through your eyes and at the same time visualizing the sunrise. It could be anything. I've just given you an example. It could be you can see a winter storm or something like that, or kind of you're walking on the beach. The idea is two things can be held in the mind simultaneously, and the mind can switch from one to the other. It's always it's a composite kind of picture night in your mind. And as that composite picture is there, you're shifting from your attention from one to another. Okay. Now I want you to look at this picture very carefully. What do you see? And now the first thing, if you see that's the face of a person, obviously, but there's something else. There's another person sitting down with the back towards us, with a tree cut down behind, and there's a kind of dried tree out in front. So there's a person sitting there. There are two cottages out there. Now this is the composite picture of two images both together, one superimposed on the other. Okay. So when you are looking at the face, the person sitting down with the hat disappears. When you are looking at the person with the hat, the face disappears. It does not disappear in the sense it vanishes. No. Your field of perception is focusing at only one image at a time. If you can see this, you have understood the principles of open-eyed meditation. So, what I want to emphasize is, we switch from one to the other. Everything has come in the mind, and we can raise another picture, another visualization in the mind, and we can have a play of both these images in the mind. And as these, you can switch from one to the other. You're sitting down, you're staring out at the window, doing nothing, but at the same time, you're looking out of the window, but you are actually seeing some thought processes in your mind. People who are preoccupied, we say, that person is absent-minded. What does absent-mindedness mean? What does the person is not paying attention? That person is paying attention to something else. You may be sitting and talking with him, suddenly that person becomes absent-minded. That person is paying attention to something else. He is not absent-minded. Attention has been diverted. The same thing can be done with open-eyed meditation. You are sitting down doing something, or maybe traveling, or maybe walking down the street. You can hold on to the picture of Shiva, of the goddess, of Vishnu, of Sri Ramakrishna, Holy Mother, anything. You can continuously repeat a mantra. This is even better. You can also become aware of your breath as you are having these eyes open. People will see you, okay, this person is there, but the person has absorbed or engrossed in something else. This is actually what makes one introspective. When we sit down and meditate morning and afternoon and evening or night or whatever you like. But what about the other times? There will come a time as you keep on practicing meditation, the picture of or the symbol of the reality becomes so intense you don't want to leave it. You don't want to let it go. It's going to remain with you throughout the day. Your morning meditations will end at one particular time, but the flow of that, you can say, meditation will go on throughout the day till evening. The idea or the concept or the symbol of reality will stay with you. I remember when we were young, we used to be trained we trained ourselves, we are taught this method. Keep your eyes open and see the picture of Sri Ramakrishna. How do you see that picture? Okay, we'll see that. Now if you look at the, you can say, screen, you see the picture of Sri Ramakrishna. Okay. Now we all have seen this picture over and over and over again. We've seen this. But I want you to gaze at this picture with a steady look. As we have done it in the Trataka, when we looked at the picture steadily. Now gaze at this picture steadily, intensely. Look at the details. Sri Ramakrishna's hair, forehead, eyebrows, eyes, nose, lips, the teeth, the cheekbones, the beard, the ears. Now, as you are looking at this, gaze at it more intensely. Now, I want you to look away from the screen at any other thing and see if the image is there in your mind. It has to be. Your eyes are open, seeing something else, but the image of Sri Ramakrishna is also there. Now return your gaze to the screen, please. Look at the face again, slowly. From the crown of the head, slowly descend down to the beard. Now look away somewhere else and see if you can hold on Sri Ramakrishna's image. Keep on holding it. This is the method of open-eyed meditation. So, if you can hold the image for maybe a minute, maybe 2 minutes, maybe 5 minutes, you can, through practice, keep that image constantly as you keep on doing your work. Suppose you're listening to music, or you're gardening, or you're cleaning, or you're doing any work, any physical work. That's why in the monasteries we are trained, you keep your mind on Sri Ramakrishna as you keep your hands busy with all this work. While you're cooking, you can always think of Sri Ramakrishna's picture in your mind. This is open-eyed meditation. You are working at the same time meditating. Your mind can switch between these two things, that because it may appear distinct, the external objects are gross and outside, and this picture is inside and subtle, but this gross image itself, object itself, come into the mind, and they are part of the mind, the perception. They are subtle now. So you can switch between these two things. Also, you can use the same technique for closed eyes meditation. Last time there was some difficulty. How do I visualize Sri Ramakrishna here in my heart? I can't seem to visualize Sri Ramakrishna sitting there, facing outside. It is difficult, but the technique is similar to the open-eyed meditation. As you close your eyes, please close your eyes. What you feel is the body. Now superimpose this idea or the picture of Sri Ramakrishna on this sensation, the sensation of the body or the feeling. You feel the body, superimpose Sri Ramakrishna here in the center of your heart. This is, open your eyes please, this is how you can, your body idea is now superimposed with the picture of Sri Ramakrishna. So how do I see it inside? You don't have to see it inside. This is the first step. Later on it will automatically go inside. So superimpose any picture of any deity on the body idea. When you feel the body, and you notice when you close your eyes, your body only feels. There is no kind of, you can say, it's a colored, you can say, picture. The sensations are there, and the sensation superimpose the idea of Sri Ramakrishna's face, a picture, on these body idea. That is the best way to. So you can use this technique for both open eyes meditation and closed eyes meditation. Just a word of caution, we don't need, if you are driving, you better drive. Okay? When in situations where it needs your full attention, you need to pay your full attention. Open-eyed meditation can be done when there's a safe space, when there's nothing much to do, when you are trying to train your mind in various things. So simple, you can say, actions of the motor organs, when they are being performed, which have been performed habitually for a long time, when you're used to it, the mind can detach itself and think of the object of meditation. This is a very powerful tool to not only control the mind, but also to have the constant remembrance of the God or remembrance of divinity. This is one part of the process. So we did Trataka, we did open-eyed meditation. The next we will see how there's a mental network and how to stop the mind from networking. That will make the mind even more focused. The idea is the mind from one object or idea runs to the other, because it serves to associate itself with other things. So that will be next Saturday's, you can say, theme of stopping mental networking. Okay. We'll stop here for now. If you have questions, we can answer them.
First question. When I focus my mind between the eyebrows, other than the feeling of throbbing of pulse, I also feel that something is touching my forehead from the inside. After opening the eyes, that feeling carry on for 5 seconds.
Well, this particular practice, I did not ask you to focus between the eyebrows. Secondly, in one of our previous videos, we had shown how do you focus your eyes. Okay, there's a technique. If you are now looking at the screen, isn't it? Where do you feel your awareness or consciousness? It's obvious it's somewhere here. And from here, you are looking at a screen out there. This is clear? Yeah. Now I want you to close your eyes, please. Now where exactly are you? it is obvious as you close your eyes, you, as it were, retract your center of attention a few paces behind your eyes, somewhere in the center of your brain. Now you gaze at the point between your eyebrows. Can you do that? If you are doing that, gaze at it steadily. This is a technique, okay? I don't want you to use your eyes and sit down squint-eyed trying to watch the point between the center of your head. Never use the eyes, the physical eyes. You are supposed to gaze at the center of your eyebrows to the eye of the mind, not your physical eyes. So when the moment you sit down like this, there is a strain. When you are gazing at a point between your eyebrows, your eyes will be looking here, as it were, down at the center of your chin or ear. That is how. So there is obviously a strain, a physical strain. So eliminate that physical strain by looking at a point with your mind's eye.
Next question. Being present, aware, is to focus 100% on that task you are in hands. Won't this take the quality if we keep thinking and chanting the mantra?
Oh, well, when you're supposed to focus completely on a task, 100%, yes. At the same time, that chanting of the mantra is subconscious. If you notice, your awareness can never focus 100% on a particular task. That is meant for the great yogis, where they have, after the experience of samadhi, they can focus it 100%. For the rest of us, our attention or awareness flows, it's not 100%. And there is a subterranean or subconscious awareness also. That can be used to chant the mantra. Or suppose you're cleaning the tabletop. Okay? You're giving 100% attention, but you're also talking to yourself. There's the last time we've seen, because the subject and object are part of the mind, you keep on an internal dialogue. To break that dialogue, we use a mantra. In fact, the chanting of the mantra will increase the power of your attention, the conscious attention. Let that be a subconscious repetition. Yes. Is it completely subconscious? No, we will say it is something called the pre-conscious or the conditioned conscious. You have been repeating this mantra for some time, okay? So that your mind has been conditioned with that. Bring that conditioned mind there up and use the focus of the conscious mind on the task. So you're using two streams to push away obstructions. If you are comfortable with just trying to do 100% awareness on a particular task, you don't want to do the chanting of a mantra, don't do it. Experiment which is more effective.
Next question. Pranam Maharaj, how is it that switching back and forth, is it not multitasking?
Oh, it is. But then the mind gets tired if you have 10 things or 20 things together. You have reduced it to two things. So you're switching it from one to the next. At one point of time, when you are watching Sri Ramakrishna's picture, you are actually not multitasking. You are just doing one thing. And then when you switch to the external environment, you are not multitasking now. You are just going and switching it from one to the other. Suppose you have 20 things and you keep on shifting your attention from one thing to the other, your attention will suffer, that particular work also will suffer. That's why they say you don't do too many things at one time. The mind simply is not evolutionarily designed to multitask. This is how the mind has been designed. And you see, when magicians, they say, they have that art of misdirection. They misdirect your attention. You are attentive to something else which is inconsequential, and they have done their trick here. And then you're surprised, oh, what happened? They simply diverted your attention. This is what actually the whole thing is. So the idea, today's world is like, okay, you're listening to music, you're walking, or you're singing, you're running. That's a different thing altogether. When you're trying to meditate, this is what the scriptures knew. You can't multitask. Try it. Take 20 things at one time and go through one of them after another. Your attention or awareness will be scattered all over the place. You'll feel tired. You'll feel bored. You'll feel frustrated. You're not accomplishing anything on a permanent basis or even for that particular time there. So the mind itself feels trying to actually drag you from there. This will be discussed in our next class when we're talking about multitasking, networking. So there we will discuss it in complete measure.
Last question. Pranama Maharaj, do we meditate both morning and evening? How to work when the work itself creates distraction?
Oh, yes, that is one of those great things. It's very difficult. Your answer is this, what Holy Mother has given to one of her disciples who complained that when we sit down to meditate in the evening, whatever work we have been doing and been engaged in, they all come. So Holy Mother says, well, my child, the work that you do is actually Sri Ramakrishna's work. So don't worry about that. Let those thoughts come. And as those thoughts come, let them come, and use this particular technique that I showed you. Let those thoughts come, but learn to switch your attention to the deity. That was the whole thing. To the mantra or to the symbol. So then again your mind might switch back to those thoughts. Let it go, bring it back in. This is a constant, you can say, struggle. But once your mind can understand that it can switch between this and that, then you have the power to direct your attention. So as you're sitting down, meditate, all these thoughts are coming in, let them come in. Don't pay attention. Okay? Now you are like looking at the screen, you're paying attention here. There are many things happening there beside you. You're not, and there are things present there, you're not aware of them. It's only when you turn your attention to this or this, oh. So similarly, the mind is full of these images and sounds and taste and touches and sights and everything. But you are focusing only on that one deity. That is the way.
Another question came. Pranam Maharaj, as a novice, how much meditation time is considered good time to start?
Oh, if you have started, you start with 10 minutes. After a month, make it 12 minutes. After 2 months, make it 15 minutes. After 3 months, make it 20. I can say it slowly. Make it every month, increase it by 2 or 3 minutes. The idea is you have to go in for quality. We are not talking about, if you can really meditate for 10 minutes solidly, you will get that same joy that people get after sitting for hours and hours of meditation. So go in for quality. As you can get a grip over that 10 minutes of yours, quality time, you increase it. The mind itself will seek to increase it slowly. At the end of the year or end of 6 months, you've covered an immense ground. A lot of people, what they do, they start with 1 hour and then they keep on reducing it because the meditation is insipid. They keep on reducing it by 55 minutes, 50 minutes, and 40 minutes, 45 minutes and 40 minutes, slowly, and then there. So it's actually the reverse. What I told you, you should start small, like every small thing. Go in for quality, not for quantity, and begin by focusing your entire attention and slowly push.
Another question. Should we focus and repeat the mantra at the same time?
We have discussed this. You have to focus and repeat because the mind works on the principle of name and form, nama and rupa. Wherever there is a nama or name, there is a form, rupa. They are both joined. So the moment you see a form, the name has to come inside. Like if you visualize Shiva, what happens? The name of Shiva does come up, you know it. So it has to be done together. And not only that, the scriptures on yoga says that you have to visualize, you have to take the name and think of the meaning also. So this also is a part of the practice. For now, you take the name, make japa, visualize. Both these things go together. It is imperative that you do both. People sit down, close their eyes and keep on doing repetition or repetition of the mantra or something or some sound. No, do it with visualization. That helps. Okay. We stop here for today. Next Saturday we will look at the mental networks. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ram Krishna Arpanamastu.